Hey beauties, morning to you beautiful people. Beautiful people, I saw a video, I think it has gone viral, on the different maybe social media platforms of a man on a car begging what I'm told his girlfriend, fairly recent girlfriend. I mean, they started dating this year. That's what I'm told, I'm not sure. Begging her to not leave him, begging her to stay. So he's on top of the bonnet, begging her to open the motor vehicle. A female is videoing, doing the whole, videoing of the entire scenario. And at one point, he even said, "Let me show her that I'm not going to hurt. Let me show you that I'm not going to hurt you." I don't know. I don't remember the name, Bree or whatever, Britta or whatever. And I handed over the phone to, I suppose, is a person, the videographer, and begging for her to not to leave him, begging for her to take him back, and really groveling and lowering his humanity. I thought that was on so many levels disturbing, perplexing, discombobulating. I mean, it was very heart wrenching. It broke my heart to see this man behaving in such a low and degraded way. And when I say low and degrading, I'm not negating his feelings. I was just reading, I'm now at Songs of Solomon. And, it talks about, the love for man, the woman loving the man loving the woman. And it spoke about how powerful love is, love. And I'm using the word love right now as it relates to the Bible. That it is as powerful as death. There is nothing that can cool it. When it talks about the wrath of a man, a male one, when you take his wife, or try to take his wife or sleep with his wife, there's nothing that can cool. That's how powerful emotion called love is. The Bible likens it unto death. Very powerful. So the human emotion is so deep and vast and wide that we have to be careful to safeguard it. That is why the Bible says, protect your heart, because out of it comes the issues, or flows the issues of life. And you have to be so careful. Now, the reason why it is so disturbing, even more than the ordinary, I'm told that he started dating this woman this year, even if it was January 1. That's a recent, very new, just in its embryonic stage relationship. What kind of, love you would be developing at this stage? We dub it, that kind of a behavior, as an obsession. It's a deep obsession. There is some brokenness in his life. Maybe he was abandoned by his mother. Maybe he was abandoned by somebody that he found significant. So as soon as he gets involved with a woman that shows him some semblance of love and care and compassion, and it seems as if he cannot maintain that, and they're going to leave, he feels as though his life is over with. Now he needs to be monitored, because you can only hope that he doesn't, get rid of his life. You hope that he doesn't commit suicide, because I couldn't believe it. And when you look in his face, I thought it was a joke initially, and then when he handed over the phone, and when you looked in his eyes and his face, I said, no, he's serious. He's really serious. And the police came. Jamaican men, sometimes when they see something that just seems a little bit too much, they can be a little bit hard. I understand where they're coming from. Maybe they just want to shake him into reality. I thought what they could have done is just, I'm not expecting them to say, come here, son, let me hush you. No. But maybe not be too hard, because he has feelings. His emotions are real. And even if it is obsession, his emotions are real. It's sad. It speaks to a brokenness that he would have faced as a youngster. It speaks to the brokenness, because that's not normal behavior. And it therefore means that there is a major ingredient that the Bible talks about as a fruit of the Spirit: self-control. You see, self-control, it works in tandem with emotional intelligence. I wrote a book, actually, I want to get it, whatever, out there, that I call both of them the same thing. When you have self-control, it's like using emotional intelligence. It's the same. They may be a little bit different, but they really work in tandem with each other. They're best friends. One cannot go without the other. One cannot go without the other. You understand? It's not a laughing matter. It's a matter that we need to pray for our men. Many of them are broken. In some ways, I'm kind of happy that he displayed that, because it tells us that we really need to get back to the basic. Pray for our men. get them into counseling, lead them to God most importantly, and teach them a better way of life. Teach them to love them, love God first. Even though the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself, meaning he still has to work on loving himself first in a sense, be whole within himself. That even if he gets into a relationship and it's going to part, that he doesn't behave that way. No, I'm not saying that he cannot say to her, please don't leave me, in a controlled manner, maybe one-on-one, not out in the public, even if somebody's there and so on, to watch, so that he doesn't go off. I'm so sorry that I may have hurt you, but whatever I've done, I'm so sorry. I'm not saying that because I don't want people to feel that if you're in a good relationship and you betray the person or hurt the person in a deep way, that you don't want to say, look here, humble yourself and say, please don't leave me, you're a good person. What I did was just my own human weakness. I failed and I'm sorry. I'm not saying you can't do that, because we live in a world where people say, don't make fun of nobody and this. No, you don't have to grovel and behave like how that man behaved. But, if it's a good relationship, fight for your relationship. Why would you give up, especially if you're married? It's, especially if you're married or you're betrothed, meaning before marriage, like you're engaged. I'm not saying that you can't try and fight for that relationship if you feel that it is going to go apart. Even if it's a girlfriend situation or a boyfriend, and you know that you did wrong and you feel the person is going to, don't just throw it away and like the person doesn't matter. But at the same time, value yourself. Don't degrade and lower your standard and your principle like that. You're human. And nobody, if let us say his behavior was right, the only being that he should display that to is God. I know God will never leave us nor forsake us. The only being that he should have done that is Jesus Christ. No human being. And you know that he would not have asked you to do that. You don't need to do that. Because you say, Lord, I welcome you into my space. He comes. He draws nigh unto those who draws nigh unto him. That was a very, very sad video to watch. I could hardly watch it. I felt like my heart was pounding, like it was coming. To hear the man, and when I looked in his face, and then the woman, she herself lacked emotional intelligence, the one who was doing the videography. Why would you be saying yes, Britt? Maybe she feels she knows the guy and she's trying to beg for the guy, because she said, no, don't give up on him. He made a mistake. Whatever it is, I'm not going to guess and spell what he did. Whatever it is that he would have done, that was not the moment for her to say that, because that behavior that the man was displaying, it's as though she's fueling it. She's giving him the go-ahead. Yeah, man, you can act this way. Somebody's leaving you, jump on the car, bonnet, prevent them from going where they're going, beg and plead and whatnot. And it reached the point where the police had to get involved and kind of, in a sense, manhandle him. But you can't even blame them, because that behavior is kind of scary. It's frightening, and maybe they want to shake him out of it. And they're not trained. They're not trained psychologists. These police just need to, they're probably ops men that knows how to deal with criminal acts and violent acts in a strong manner, so that they don't take them out themselves. Men and women, you have to reach to a point where you value yourselves. You have to love yourselves. All human beings at some point will go through heartbreak. It's deliberate, because God is teaching us to be strong. We have to be eagles, lions, and lionesses. We have to be tough. We have to learn to take certain things. Don't, especially in the public like that, jumping on the car bonnet and preventing her from going on in that manner. It was really, really bad. It really was sad. It speaks, I know that many people, families in Jamaica are mostly broken. One, because they're single parent homes. That's not how God designed us. It should be nuclear homes with a mother, a father, husband and wife, with your child or children, growing up your children in the nurture and the admonition of God, of the Lord, of Jesus. And we would see a lot of social ills mitigate completely. Some of them you can't because of sin, We would teach our children values, learning how to love themselves and not behave this way when somebody says, I'm going to leave. I'm not saying you're not going to be hurt. You're going to be hurt. You're going to cry. You might, if it's a good person, you did wrong, you may say, don't leave me. And, to the person, but not to come out and behave this way. It was sad. And I pray that God heals him and that he doesn't commit any suicide or anything like that, or it doesn't hurt her, But guys, go and seek help. Go and seek help if this is where you're at, because self-control is a key ingredient that we all need. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this.